The next 2 weeks in Genoa City unfold like a tightening storm, beginning with Audra Charles reaching the breaking point. She enters the first week still clinging to the faint hope that Nate Hastings might forgive her, but the moment she faces him, that illusion shatters. Nate's expression alone tells her everything she doesn't want to hear. He no longer sees her as a partner, a possibility, or even a romantic mistake worth revisiting. He sees her as someone he has moved beyond, and the more she apologizes, the more he retreats into his calm, unreachable resolve. When she realizes he is emotionally shifting toward Victoria, something inside Audra snaps. The apology turns into frustration turns into anger, and she lashes out in a moment of bitterness that exposes how deeply she is hurting. This emotional meltdown doesn't go unnoticed by Claire Grace, who accidentally becomes the target of Audra's fury. Claire, no longer the timid and guilt-ridden girl she used to be, stands her ground and pushes back with a sharpness that catches Audra by surprise. For the first time, Audra sees that her usual intimidation tactics are losing their power, and the confrontation leaves her shaken. By week's end, the anger she felt toward Nate transforms into a hollow, painful realization. She has reached the end of the road with him, and she cannot beg her way into a future that simply doesn't exist anymore. While Audra spirals emotionally, Jack Abbott prepares to take the kind of radical step that will reshape the entire Jabot empire. For days, Jack has been haunted by the idea that the company's systems are vulnerable to AI corruption, and with hidden enemies constantly circling, he becomes convinced that survival requires sacrifice. He warns his family that they will hate his plan, but Ashley and Tracy are still stunned when Jack announces he will shut down Jabot's entire digital operation for months. No servers, no networks, no automated systems. Just a complete technological blackout. It is a move that threatens profits, production, and reputation, but Jack believes it is the only way to protect the legacy his family built. As this decision rocks the Abbott world, Victor Newman fights his own war far from Genoa City. He flies to Los Angeles after receiving information that leaves him restless and uneasy. The moment he walks into the shadow room and hears Matt Clark's furious voice echoing against the walls, every suspicion Nick tried to warn him about becomes terrifyingly real. Victor has spent decades believing Matt was dead, and now here he stands, alive, unstable, and visibly unraveling in front of Detective Burrow. It becomes clear that Matt has been building his revenge carefully, using Sienna and Noah as pawns in a game none of them fully understood. Victor, shocked but focused, immediately begins trying to break the psychological hold Matt has over the situation. Meanwhile, Sienna and Noah are navigating their own nightmare. Locked in a dangerous tug-of-war between hope and fear, they begin whispering plans of escape. Sienna believes she has found a possible opening, a moment when Matt's attention wavers and they might slip free, but the danger around them is suffocating. Noah isn't just frightened, he is trapped in a moral and emotional cage, trying to protect Sienna while understanding that every wrong move might make Matt explode. Sienna's instincts tell her to run, but Noah fears that Matt is anticipating every choice they make. Their quiet attempts to strategize only push Matt closer to the edge, and eventually he corners Noah, forcing him to make a terrible decision. Whatever Noah is compelled to do sends a wave of dread through the storyline, hinting that escape may only come at a devastating cost. Back in Genoa City, Diane and Kyle scramble to take advantage of Jack's digital shutdown. With the company offline, their only way forward is old-fashioned detective work. They begin hunting for any scrap of information that could expose the rival targeting Jabot, but the disappearance of digital footprints makes the truth even harder to uncover. Both mother and son realize they might be digging into a war far bigger than the typical corporate rivalry. While all this unfolds, Kane Ashby remains a silent observer, watching Lily and Phyllis escalate their long-standing tension into a full-blown clash. The gloves finally come off, and Kane finds himself caught between admiration, amusement, and concern as the two women tear through each other's defenses in ways that threaten to ignite new problems in the coming weeks. By the second week, which begins December 8th, everything shifts dramatically. Matt is finally subdued, whether by force, circumstance, or a combination of both, and the threat he posed no longer hangs over Noah and Sienna. Victor, Nick, and Sharon work together, pooling their emotional strength and family loyalty to bring Noah and Sienna safely back to Genoa City. The reunion is emotional, tense, and raw, with everyone trying to process the trauma Matt inflicted. When Victor returns home, he immediately learns that Jabot has gone dark. Rather than seeing this as Jack's desperate act, Victor views it as a strategic opening. With the Abbotts offline and scrambling, Victor begins assessing ways to maneuver around the blackout, and the sudden softening of his attitude toward Kyle hints that he might see an opportunity to pull Kyle closer into the Newman orbit during Jabot's moment of weakness. Amid all this chaos, the drama slows briefly on December 9th for a heartfelt, standalone episode devoted to Michael Baldwin and Lauren Fenmore Baldwin. Their chapter offers a rare breath of nostalgia and emotional reflection, grounding the audience in the history that shaped Genoa City long before AI threats and psychological warfare took over the canvas. By the end of the 2 weeks, every character has moved somewhere emotionally. Audra faces the truth she has been avoiding, Noah and Sienna return with battle scars, Victor emerges victorious yet troubled, Jack sacrifices the company's stability for its safety, and the entire city feels the tremor of conflict still building beneath the surface.